probably the best Brazilian football player ever, won numerous medals and had unforgettable experiences throughout his illustrious career. South America is acknowledged as a region with growing skill in the world of football. Regarding the many outstanding players from Brazil and Argentina, Pelé and the recently dead Diego Armando Maradona have long been regarded as the best. In this video, we'll honor the Brazilian icon Pelé and look at some of his best performances. Hello and welcome to ZZOX for Football channel, a channel where you can find everything about football players, clubs, info and more. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share if you like the video. Tell us in comment section what do you think is the best moment in Pelé's life. Now let us get back to our video. Pelé just passed away as a result of his incurable illness, which compelled this legend to give up and exchange his mortal body for a better one. We are even more excited to relive some of this legend's most memorable moments in light of this awful incident. First senior level game. Edson Arantes do Nascimento, better known as Pelé, was born in 1940 and began his amazing career as a young man. Brito brought Pelé to Santos in 1956 to try out for professional team Santos FC, informing the Santos directors that the 15-year-old would be the greatest football player in the world. Santos is an industrial city close to So Paulo. Lula, the Santos head coach, was impressed by Pelé during his trial, and in June 1956, Pelé agreed to a professional deal.
One of Pelé's greatest achievements came when, at the age of 15, he made his senior squad debut against Corinthians Santo André on September 7, 1956.
Pelé performed admirably in the 7-1 triumph in that game, scoring the first goal in his prolific career during the match. Initial international match. His debut game wearing the Brazil jersey is unquestionably number 2 on the list of Pelé's greatest moments in history. The young man was selected for the Brazil national team 10 months after entering into a professional deal with Santos FC.
On July 7, 1957, at the Maracanã, Pelé played in his first international game, which Brazil lost 2-1 to Argentina.
Pelé scored his first goal for Brazil in that game at the age of 16 years, 9 months, and he continues to hold the record for the nation's youngest goal scorer. World Cup victory in 1958. Here is the second entry on our list of Pelé's greatest performances ever. A superstar at the age of 17, could she play on the biggest stage in the world? Pelé, who is skilled, just did it. Brazil ultimately won their first World Cup trophy in 1958 thanks to a secret weapon in the form of a 17-year-old after losing a World Cup final 8 years earlier. In the 1958 game, Pelé made a name for himself in football history and dazzled the globe. Pelé missed the first 2 games of the competition due to injury, but he returned to the starting lineup for Brazil in the final group match, and he had a significant impact in the knockout stage to help his country win the World Cup for the first time. In the semi-final victory over France, the young player achieved an incredible hat-trick after scoring the game-winning goal against Wales in the quarterfinals. Pelé continued to shine after this, scoring one of the best goals in World Cup history by receiving a high cross on his chest, flipping the ball over the head of a charging defender, and then slamming it home with a precise volley. Later, as Brazil prevailed 5-2 to claim the country's first-ever World Cup trophy, he increased his total. The youngest player to ever take part in and score in a World Cup final was Pelé, who was just 17 years old on this particular day. For all of these reasons, Pelé's finest World Cup memories include the 1958 championship game. The Copa America superstar. The Copa America, or the 1959 South American Championships, was the opportunity Pelé missed during his illustrious career. However, he doesn't criticize himself for the award. It was difficult to take the Copa America seriously since it was not the prominent competition that it is today and because it was so poorly run. However, Pelé dominated the competition in 1959, just days after being named the world champion. Although Brazil came in second place to Argentina in the South American Championships, losing by a point, Pelé left an impression on everyone on the region by scoring 8 goals and winning player of the competition. This was the tale that gave rise to one of Pelé's greatest performances ever. Santos Copa Libertadores victory. Santos qualified for the 1962 Copa Libertadores, a competition they had never won previously, after winning the Brazilian League Championship in 1961. All of that was about to alter. Santos won easily in the first round and narrowly defeated Universidad Católica in the semi-finals. Awaiting the Brazilians in the final was Uruguayan side Penarol, and they competed in a dramatic 3-game playoff. Santos won the total battle, thanks to a brace from Pele in the final match. The striker scored 4 in the entire competition, and best moments of Pele's career saw a new sample. He led his club win their first Copa Libertadores trophy ever. They wouldn't have to wait long for their second success either, which arrived only a year later. 1962 World Cup victory. The Brazil national team came into the 7th World Cup in Chile as the reigning champions. The most significant thing was Brazil and Pele's achievement in repeating the victory and winning back-to-back World Cups, even though 1962 wasn't as iconic as the previous World Cup. The 1962 World Cup final game became one of Pele's all-time best moments as a result of this accomplishment. They achieved a goal that no other team after them had yet to achieve and that had previously only been accomplished by Italy. Brazil and its superstar celebrated winning their second title in the greatest football competition in the world by defeating Czechoslovakia in the finals game. 1970 World Cup victory. We could dedicate a whole standalone video to Pele's most amazing performances from the 1970 World Cup alone. The legend helped the Seleção qualify for the 1970 World Cup despite initially refusing to play for the Brazil national team in 1969. One of Pele's best World Cup moments occurred on the final day of the competition, which was nothing short of iconic. Pele had several opportunities to score the most incredible goal of his career, especially against Uruguay, but decided to dummy the ball instead, fooling the helpless goalkeeper. Pele surprisingly missed the net with his final touch, shooting wide with the entire goal in view. Pele opted for the spectacular against Czechoslovakia, shooting from close within his own half, much like one of his other greatest plays of all time. The crowd held its breath in anticipation, but his attempt missed the mark by a small margin. But of course, he also discovered the net. Against Romania, Pele scored a beautiful outside-of-the-foot free kick, and in the 4-1 victory over Italy, he was instrumental in setting up Carlos Alberto's illustrious team goal and scoring a spectacular header of his own. In addition, he forced Bobby Moore into one of the best defensive performances in history and prompted Gordon Banks to make the greatest save in history. He deserves credit for both of these. While it has been 50 years since Pele won the World Cup trophy for the last time, he is still the only man in the football history to win 3 World Cup medals. The 1000th goal. The game had to be interrupted for 20 minutes because Edson Arantes do Nascimento, who you wouldn't believe scored over 1,000 goals in his career, triggered a pitch invasion. That is indeed what occurred, and we're better than the Maracana to reach such a milestone. In 1969, Pele had 999 goals in his career. After failing to reach the magical 1,000 in 2 games, Santos' victory came against Vasco da Gama at the Maracana when he was awarded a penalty kick. Although he had previously claimed that a penalty is a cowardly way to score, Pele put those extreme emotions behind him to slot the ball home and notch number 1,000. Pele just had time to kiss the ball before teammates, opposition and fans swarmed towards him and carry him on a lap of honor around the stadium. That was absolutely a touching moment among Pele's best moments of all time. Another fact is that, according to France Football magazine, the organization that oversees the Ballon d'Or, Pele is in the lead with 7 honors, outpacing Cristiano Ronaldo, who only has 5, and is tied with Lionel Messi, who has 7. Only European footballers were permitted to compete for the Ballon d'Or prior to 1995. France Football modified the regulation and opened up the prize since it was a bit unfair and to properly reward the finest in the world. When the Ballon d'Or was re-evaluated internationally in 2016, Pele was awarded 7 times, in 1958, 1959, 1960, 1961, 1963, 1964, and 1970. They only did this in years when a non-European player deserved to win overall. As a result, Diego Maradona, twice, Romario, Mario Kempes and Garrincha joined Pele on the honorary winners list. France Football even printed a magazine cover of Pele with his golden trophies and the headline, Pele's 7 Ballon d'Ors. It is not wrong if we say that players like Pele and Maradona are unique icons of football history and their achievements and skills will be unreachable for majority of players or even superstars for lifetime. This was our video about most memorable moments of Pele. If you also can name some other ones as Pele's best moments of all time,